We have two speakers for you this evening. On my left, our guest speaker is Dr. Eamonn Butler from the Adam Smith Institute, which is an independent and influential think tank, very much at the cutting edge of the debates on privatisation, deregulation. He's going to be speaking first, and he's going to be defending capitalism. On my right, from the Socialist Party of Great Britain, we have Richard Headicar. Richard, again, will be speaking for about 20-25 minutes, and he will be defending socialism. Oh, right. Well, that's a slick answer. Okay, we will, the running order that we're going to be using tonight, Dr. Butler will speak for 20-25 minutes, Richard will speak for 20-25 minutes, then Dr. Butler will again have 10 minutes to respond, and Richard will follow up with a further 10 minutes. When that's complete, we will then take questions and comments from the floor. In conformance with the traditions of the party, we will take visitors first, so any party members, if you will, hold back, and I will indicate when I'm willing to take questions from members. After that, we'll wind that up about 9:20, and then the two speakers will again have 10 minutes each to sum up, and I will bring the proceedings to a close quite firmly at 9:45, because the management have actually asked us to vacate the building by 10 o'clock. We need 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to finish off. So that's the order of the day, and I will say no more, but I will hand over to Dr. Butler.
Thank you very much. Well, I've been asked to speak for 20 minutes, and thanks to the capitalist economy, you can get little gadgets to tell you exactly how long it's for. It's one of these I love, the market economy. Firstly, let me thank you very much for inviting me here. I've always been, from a distance, a sort of fan of the Socialist Party, because of your stand, really, I think, against the heavy-handed, bureaucratic forms of socialism and authoritarianism. And it's always struck me that you are genuinely interested in ideas and argument. And it's called a debate. I think probably the vote at the end will be 51-1 or something like that. And I'm not sure we're going to change each other's minds. But at least I hope that I might understand a little bit more of your thinking, and I hope that if I have any skill at all, perhaps I can introduce you to a few of our arguments. But I'm actually here, I'm in fact a complete fraud, because I always thought of myself actually as something of a socialist, that I am very much against privilege and class and wide disparity in income and wealth. And I think that, like Adam Smith, the reason that I believe in a market capitalist economy is because I think it is the best way of helping fundamentally the working poor. I think that if you look at the way that capitalism is spread through the world, it is the people at the very bottom who have benefited most from it, and those actually are the people that I'm interested in. I'm not in this for the boss classes. I'm not in it because I went to a private school, I didn't, or I had a silver spoon background because I didn't, or even that, you know, I think that I'm going to become a billionaire and boss everybody else around because I know I'm not. You can't do that in this sort of think tank business. So I think that we will find that our ideals are actually quite similar. It is just, I think, the means that we probably disagree on. So I welcome this opportunity. I think I'm going to make, if I've got time, I'll make 4 points. Firstly, I think that a system, a socialist system, which involves people voting as to how society should proceed and what it should do, I don't think that is any better than the profit system. I think it's open to the same kinds of human frailties. Secondly, I would like to argue that the exchange system, which is fundamental to capitalism, the system of exchange for profit, benefits both sides. It benefits everybody. It doesn't just benefit some minority of providers who reap a financial profit. It's much broader than that. Thirdly, I'd like to say that the market system is better at dealing with change. We live in a world of change. We're talking about climate change and goodness knows what else. Things do change. And I think that one of the reasons I support the capitalist system is because I think that it deals with that very much better. And the fourth thing, if I have time, is simply to say that the system that I'm arguing for does actually seem to work, and I think that it works better. So on the first point about how you actually decide what is going to be done, well, you've got two possible systems. We all sit down and we vote and we decide what's going to happen. Or we have a system which is driven by trade and commerce and indeed by profit. Well, it seems to me that the vote motive is just as corrupt, if you like, as the profit motive. In political society, I was just reading the headlines today in the Evening Standard, MPs have to pay back £1 million or something. It's a corrosive system. People enter it because they want power. Yes, I know you're all good people and you would like to have a system where good people come in and decide how society is going to be run. But what happens is, of course, that power attracts people who don't think that at all. People who are in it for themselves. I've just come back the other day from Moscow, and really the people in public office there seem to think, politicians as well, seem to think that the reason that they're in public office is to line their own pockets and not to actually help society. The whole thing is corrupt. And I think that if you have a market economy, you actually undermine that corruption, that power motive. I think it gives people an alternative. If everything is decided by some Politburo, well, we don't have any options. But MPs can decide what they want, but in a market economy, actually it's ordinary individuals who decide lots of other things for themselves. So it's a balance of power, which I think is important. I'm against concentrated power. I think it's wicked and evil. I want to see restraints on people's power. And I think that the market economy actually gives a lot of power to ordinary people rather than to big fat cats or powerful politicians. Because it's driven by people's choices. It's what you and I decide to buy that decides what's actually going to be produced. And if we don't buy things, then they don't get produced because there's no profiting. So I think that the vote system is no better in human terms than the profit system. And I think it's probably actually slightly worse because of that concentration of power. Secondly, I want to explain how I see the system of exchange for profit. Exchange makes people better off. They wouldn't do it if they didn't feel that they were better off. It makes both sides better off. We get confused in an economy where we have money because we think, oh well, whoever's getting the cash is better off. But cash is just a medium of exchange. It's just something that you accept temporarily because you know that you can use it to exchange for something that you really want later. It's only a medium. So I think you should look beyond financial benefit. Exchange is one of the most natural things in the world. Kids this high will swap toys, right? You get fed up with a toy, you get another kid, you swap the toy, you're better off, and the other kid's better off. Both of you have benefited from the exchange. And you wouldn't do it if you didn't benefit from the exchange. Now, when you've got that happening all over the place, millions of people, billions of people indeed around the planet, all exchanging, all benefiting from it, all getting something they want, that they prefer, and giving up something that they don't want quite so much, but that somebody else does want, that spreads benefit throughout the planet. It doesn't matter whether money is involved or not.